Secondaries in video games are iconic, especially first-person shooters. For every Halo assault rifle, there's a Magnum. For every M1 Garand, there's a 1911. For every super shotgun, there's the rest of Doomguy's arsenal because, let's all be completely honest, everything plays second fiddle to those twin barrels of goodness. And today, we're going to be talking about drillers, secondaries, and gadgets. We're talking microwaves, incendiary weapons, irradiation, localized black holes in your backyard, and getting medieval on their asses. And, of course, most importantly, using big-ass power tools to exploit the natural resources of distant lands, because this is the American Empire. Let's just start with the thing that Driller is known for. The thing he does best. The one, the only, drills. Now listen, the drills might seem basic when you first look at them, but they are really good at doing a lot of different things really well. Laying pipe, going to extract without being swarmed by bugs, getting rid of annoying pieces of terrain, moving objectives down, making bunkers. And if you're doing point extraction, egg hunt, on-site refining, elimination, deep scan, salvage, or any deep dive that has any of those objectives, the drills have a unique use case no other mobility tool has. Another upside to the drills is that it synergizes with his primaries. All of Driller's primaries either have a lingering effect or really like being in close quarters with bugs that are bunched up. With the drills, you have on-demand close quarters and the bugs will bunch up. And also, Driller kind of sucks at long ranges and can get bullied by things like menaces, acid spitters, and web spitters in large rooms. Good thing you can just look down and make a hole for yourself. And that's not even mentioning how much mobility you can get with this thing by drilling up cliffs, down cliffs. You can move heavy objects around a lot easier than any other class, besides maybe Gunner. You are only limited when it comes to the drills by the terrain you have at your disposal and your imagination. You become an artist, and the terrain is your canvas, and your whole team gets to make use of this. All right, it's great. Now, when it comes to building the drills, you usually want to build them like this, maximizing your drilling speed and ammo. But if you so want to, and if you bring them with cryo, you can build them for melee damage like this. I wouldn't recommend this except on a couple builds, and it's something different. Editor me here. You can also block fall damage with them, just as a side note. Anyway, that is enough about the drills. Let's get on to his more dynamic choice, that being the secondaries. Every secondary in the game is designed to work in concert with that class's primaries. Gunner gets precision burst damage to complement his sustained fire primaries. Scout gets close-ranged burst damage and utility to go with his more long-range precision rifles. And Engineer secondaries are all ammo-hungry specialized weapons with specific weaknesses that his more generalist primaries can cover. Now, disclaimer, all of this is in general. Driller secondaries are that concept, but taken to an extreme. Each one has special modifications and overclocks that are designed to work in concert with a certain driller primary. Not every build on every secondary works this way, but there are a bunch of modifications that are designed to work with specific primaries. And this really makes sense when you think about it, because each of Driller's primaries is designed around a unique status effect, so having his secondaries be able to play off those specific secondary effects means that you get even more builds per secondary than other classes, because it's not just like, oh, I need a crowd clear build for my Burt auto pistol. It's now, I have a crisper, I have cryo, and I have a sludge pump build for Subata. And let's just start simple. Let's just start easy. The Glock. Subata is pretty easy to wrap your head around. You point it, you shoot it, bugs tend to die, there's no temperature mechanics here, there's no slows, nothing crazy. And as the starting secondary, its main utility that it provides Driller is in the form of range and precision damage. And this is really good because Driller kind of struggles with range unless you build specifically for it. So having this option to go pop a web spitter is good, you know? And it can deal out some pretty crazy damage when you start stacking buffs. By giving it the weak point mod, you can get up to plus 100% weak point damage. And then it has really good synergy with Crisper, because if you take the tier 5 50% damage against burning targets, you stack it with a 2-round burst mod, bigger mags, and then you max out your ammo, you just start mag dumping people. Now, in terms of Sludge Pump, you can do Neurocorrosive Catalyst. I'm gonna give the write-up of my thoughts on it on screen because, In terms of overclocks for Subata, you really want to bring either Fire Rate or Magazine ones with Crisper, and Tranquilizer rounds and Minelets with Sludge Pump. However, when it comes to Cryo Cannon, I don't think Subata is really a good pick. Like, the 3 times damage bonus that you get with Cryo Cannon is good, but I just, And I'm gonna be totally honest, it is super fun and satisfying to shoot. GSG nailed the sound design, but it is definitely Driller's weakest secondary by a long shot, alright? And because it just shoots things. It provides no other utility and not a whole lot of combos, and you do need to hit weak points with it, which is something Driller's other 2 secondaries do not have.
This thing is so unbelievably dangerous to operate.
Now, Experimental Plasma Charger is a little more complicated, alright? It has a heat mechanic, and you can charge up shots to deal more damage. And it has 2 builds that I like using. You have the meta build that makes EPC absolutely busted and a great form of skill expression, and you really have to earn it to be good with it. You have your option for Sludge Pump. Let's just start with the Sludge Pump version. In Tier 5, we have Burning Nightmare, which simply adds heat to your projectiles and lets you set things on fire. When you combine this with Sludge Pump's Flammable Goo and Heavy Hitter, we have some pretty funny results. This combo lets you deal with durable targets much better with builds that focus on damage over time. If a creature is on fire in a puddle that is on fire and has been directly hit by the sludge, it'll take about 80 damage per second from just status effects. Here's my math. I might be wrong, I might have missed something, please leave a comment, but I'm 90% confident I got it about right. There might be some decimals missing here and there. And so this mod is really good on Sludge Pump builds that focus on setting up puddles. This is about 3 Sludge Pump builds, and is required to run on one of Sludge Pump's best modifications. So the EPC Flaming build is a niche but good pick. It has its role and it has its builds that it works with. Now the meta option is Thin Containment Field. Alright, now what this modification lets you do is when you charge up a shot, if anyone hits it with a bullet midair, it then explodes into a mini black hole and deletes terrain, bugs, and even minerals around it. This thing does great burst damage, on-the-fly terrain removal, lets you mine minerals that are high up, grab objectives, and just rip through hordes. Like, it does take skill to maximize the value that you get out of this, and if you have a skill issue like me, then you might want to pick something else, but the only way that you're ever going to improve is by practicing, and when you get good with it, it becomes the uncontested best option, because it just does everything. And you can make it even better if you pair it up with the Unstable Overclock Persistent Plasma, which lets you add a damage over time effect that deals 35 damage per second. Oh my god, okay. The downsides of this overclock, the damage, don't even apply to the explosion for Thin Containment Field, so there is no downside effectively if you just go for the big balls, alright? Don't take that out of context. I am gay. And then, when you stack this with a primary that does a slowdown, which is all of them, it solves your bug problems, alright? So, when it comes to Experimental Plasma Charger, you have a niche pick that enables certain builds to be better, and then you have the other one that asks you, can you hit your shots? If you answer yes to that question, then you get the best gun Driller has. And I think Thin Containment Field being so skill reliant, and like, you can hit crazy shots with this thing, and it feels awesome to just delete packs of grunts.
damn kitchen appliance!
The next weapon that we have to talk about is my favorite. I'm biased, and I'm gonna let you all know that I'm biased, alright? Because this is the weirdest one, alright? Subata can be described as gun. Experimental plasma charger can be described as gun that gets hot sometimes instead of reloading. Wave cooker is a microwave? To explain briefly how wave cooker works is it shoots out in a cone of lines, and then if enough of those lines connect with a target, it deals damage. I don't get paid enough to explain any more than that, so I'm just going to leave a video in the description that does a better job than I could. Now, there are a bunch of ways to run wave cooker, but my personal favorites are as a combo weapon with driller's primaries. Alright? And there are two modifications that make this possible. One is contagion transmitter, and one is exothermic reactor. I don't care about boiler array in this house, get that shit away from me. Exothermic reactor is pretty simple actually. Each time you deal damage to a creature that is completely frozen or on fire, there is a 25% chance to clear the status effect, deal 200 damage instantly, and spread either heat or cold depending on the status effect in the area around it. This pairs really well with Crisper, a little worse with Cryo, but you can make it work with both. In terms of overclocks, you really just want to bring Mega Power Supply because it gives you everything that you want. It gives you extra fire rate, so your random chances come up more often. And the extra ammo is nice and basically means that you can pair this with sticky fuel and you will never run out of ammo against grunts. Now, Wave Cooker's special modification for Sludge Pump is neat. Contagion Transmitter should sound familiar, okay? Every time you deal damage to a corroded or neurotoxin enemies, you have a 10% chance to add a status effect to them that deals about 120 damage to them over 10 seconds, so an additional 12 DPS. Wave Cooker will also deal an additional 30 damage to corroded or neurotoxin enemies, so you're getting a DPS buff as well as a damage over time effect. Now, when it comes to Contagion Transmitter overclocks that pair really nicely with it, you have two choices. Mega Power Supply, for the aforementioned reasons of the more ammo and faster fire rate are just really good when you're rolling dice. Or, you could be a Chad, like me, and take Gamma Contagion for even more damage over time. This is all good. The only problem with Wave Cooker builds is the randomness, especially on Contagion Transmitter, because that 10% chance of just not getting your status effect, it's 10% every time you hit them that you get a chance. And for those of you who don't know how probabilities work, it's fine. The education system probably failed you. It's alright. It's not your fault. A 10% chance does not mean you have to hit them 10 times for a guaranteed chance of it popping off. The math actually works. 65% chance. I'm pretty sure. I'm also not that good at math. Honestly, I think the only change that I would make to this is have the 4th hit with Exothermic Reactor and the 8th hit with Contagion Transmitter be guaranteed procs. And I just think that would be good for the consistency of the weapon. Wave Cooker is still a great secondary for Driller. It gives slowdown, it gives range, and it gives a choice between burst and damage over time, depending on your primaries. And those are his secondaries, but we aren't done yet. Let's talk about grenades.
Fire in the hole!
It's me, you arswipe! Friendlies! Friendlies!
This video is long, so I will be brief. Spring-loaded rippers are a meme. If you disagree, please leave your thesis below. I am so interested to hear how people defend these. I just don't like them. High explosives are good at horde clear. You are playing Driller, the horde clear class. You do not need more. Now, neurotoxins are high explosives, but done good, alright? They last a long time, they cover a massive area, and they guaranteed kill has 5 grunts, and pair nicely with builds that lack a strong lingering effect, this being specifically single target builds and the cryo cannon. Alright, they have their place in Driller's arsenals, just don't bring them with Crisper, or if anyone on your team brings a fire effect. They're good, I like them, they're neat, alright? They are like good game design. And axes are by far the best, for one simple reason. They deal great single target damage, and they deal it out quickly. Now, most of Driller's builds generally lack a good source of single target damage, or they struggle against dealing with bigger threats. Fear not, because these will fuck up everything, from ranged enemies, to Praetorians, to Dreadnoughts. Bonus points if the target is frozen, because just look at what happens to oppressors. I showed this clip in the last video, I'm showing it again. Look at what happens to frozen oppressors. And another secret synergy that these things have is because it counts as a melee attack, you also get health back when you take Vampire in the perk slot. Spring-loaded Rippers users. If I am missing something with this grenade, please tell me in the comments. I am so interested in what people have to say about this. And those are his grenades, and those are definitely the only explosives in Driller's arsenal. Yep, I'm definitely not missing anything at all. Leave me alone! Okay, listen. I've been ignoring it for the whole video. Hide from it. Run from it. The team killing is inevitable. Everything else in Driller's kit, and I mean everything else in Driller's kit, is all about synergies with Driller's primaries and playing into his strengths. C4 just blows a hole in that thesis because it's a bad bitch, sassing everyone in a 5-meter radius with the girl boss move of spontaneous combustion. You really have two builds with C4. You can either max out dig radius and max out ammo and have it be a terrain removal tool. But you play Deep Rock Galactic. You're not a fucking nerd. So you're gonna max the damage out of that thing and basically have 2 nuclear bombs in your pocket. Now, if you're not a fan of blowing yourself up, first off, lame. Boom! I killed myself. But if you prefer to come back from missions not in a bucket, then you can pair throwing your C4 with the dash to increase the distance between you and the explosion and not killing yourself. And the thing is, C4 works with just about every build. It doesn't matter what primary, what secondary, what grenade you bring. Your choice of terrain removal or damage is just a black box that nothing else interacts with. And really, like, even with the drills, right? You can bring cryo and do a melee build with it. And like with TCF, you have alternative choices in the form of other secondaries and Burning Nightmare. And those at least interact with the rest of Driller's kit in terms of decision making and build crafting. C4 just ignores everything and blows stuff up, which is not a bad thing. I just find it so funny that this whole video I've been talking about like synergies and Colette, and then there's just the C4 sitting there and it blows stuff up and it just does its job. It doesn't care about anything else. And that is how my perfect Driller thesis went up in an explosion that just so happened to kill the scout.
Allow me to illuminate the situation.
Damn.
Well, and that's all of Driller's supporting kit. We have drills for mobility, secondary support your primary, 2 good grenades, 2 ones, and a funny brick that definitely never kills scout, ever, on accident. Nope, never happened to me. I would never let harm happen to my teammates dressed in blue. Did I ever mention I was colorblind? In briefly, how it works is...
Hey, how old is everybody at this thing?
I'm kind of recording a video.
You need a sign for your room, bro.
I don't need a sign from... Get out! Get out! Get out! Yeah, like, dude, I have not been recording this entire fucking play session. And Nemesis shows up at the very end and dies. And dies before I can even get a full clip. It's going in the video, but like, what the fuck is this? How did he get down here? I have never seen this before. Is this my curse? Come with me.
Oh, okay.
Come.
Where are you at?
Up here. if you turn... yes, right over here. Okay. So, gang, this thing is not fighting fair. This rat fucking bastard is not fighting fair. We're dwarves. We were made for this. This motherfucking thing wants to show us we're not losing to this goddamn plant. So, we're not losing to this stupid fucking thing. When I tell you, shoot that. Okay, well... Okay. Okay, now, go find the pink ones and kill them. Basically, when it, like, closes up, you can sort of see where the sprouts land. Nice. I'm gonna go deal with the healing.
Fuck.
Oh god, you know, it's so over. This game is just so goddamn awful. I'm at my goddamn limit. I don't want to do this. Oh my god.
I got it.
You got it? Nice.
Okay.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Sniper.
Hell yeah. Look at that. That's awesome. Alright. Now.
Okay, come on.
Now we just have to kill
Open up,
these
babe.
fucking... Yep. Kill them. Fucking kill them. Beautiful. Beautiful.
Wonderful.
Guys, I will make out with both of you. Alright? That was
Okay.
awesome.
Okay.
That was...
I don't know.
Maybe. I'm just saying. Are you still drunk?
Yes.
Come with me. This is the ritual. So, if you wanted to be a punk, if you wanted to be a loser, you would order around a Leaf Lovers. That unsubbers you. Do not do that. This is
killing game.
This is a long-held dwarven tradition. Jump in the hoop.
Okay.
It's side, don't do it.
No. It's how you sober up. Yep. This is how it works. Jump in the hoop. Jump in the hoop. Jump in the hoop. You're doing it over here. Loser. You want to be cool like this? I kill myself too. No, we're good.
I'm trying.
Now we got the way. Beautiful. You're not drunk. You should kill yourself. Because let's admit it, everything plays second fiddle to... Oh, I...
Doing audio.
Thanks. Did you just walk in here?
No, I was straight up about to walk right out because I realized you were doing audio.
I already have a bit in the video where you show up and interrupt. Oh my god.
Wait, really?
Yes, dude, it's in the bloopers reel. Outro time. I recorded this like 3 or 4 times now because I don't know what to say. If you watched the video and liked it, subscribe, like. I'm gonna do more of these in the future. And I hope you stick around. Yeah, next video is either going to be the Colette Wave Cooker addendum, because I don't think I did that weapon justice. There's a lot more about it that I want to talk about, but I just didn't really have time. I think my script for this video was a little weaker. I'm being very self-critical right now, just before I upload it. And, also a driller builds and, like, practical tips on, like, hey, here's some builds that I think are fun. Yeah, and then after that, it's either I'm going to try and get into either modded DRG and see what that's all about, because it looks crazy, you know, and also, like, a lot of fun. Yeah, no. Thank you for sticking around, listening to my ramblings. Like, subscribe, share it with a friend, it helps out a lot. And, I hope you all have a good one. Rockin' stone, boys. Rockin' stone.